Have you ever felt like you are alive but not really living? Not exactly suffering, not exactly happy either. It is just that everything keeps moving on day after day, and you are not even sure if you are making progress or just barely getting by. You wake up, you scroll through your phone, you tackle a bunch of tasks, you get tired, you scroll some more, then you sleep. And then you do it all over again, day after day. There is nothing obviously wrong, but nothing really feels right either. You are tired of yourself, but you do not even know where to begin to change. I know that feeling. That feeling of being stuck in a loop, living out a repeated version of yourself. That feeling of knowing you are capable of more, but something small yet incredibly powerful keeps holding you back. You are not lacking motivation. You are lacking a system for living. The right habits, the ones that help you pull yourself out of that fog little by little, day by day. And you do not have to wait until the new year. You do not need to wait until things are more stable. You do not need anyone to give you a chance. You just need to begin again, right here, with better habits, one habit a day, one small step each morning. Because your life does not change overnight, but it does begin to change the moment you stop living the way you always have. These next 10 chapters are 10 small actions, but powerful enough to transform your entire inner world. Do not miss them, and do not skip out on yourself. One more time. Chapter 1, wake up with a clear intention. Start building better habits today. Your life will not change if you keep waking up each morning as if today does not matter. Have you ever noticed something? The way you start your day is often the way you live your life. Unconscious, rushed, without purpose, without a clear direction. You jump out of bed almost like a reflex. Not because there is something you are excited about, just because, well, you have to go to work. Because the alarm went off, because the day has started again. You do not choose how your day begins, and so you do not really choose how your life unfolds either. Most people do not live intentionally. They just exist, a little each day, with no clarity, no real sense that they are building something meaningful. They stay up too late, wake up too late, grab their phones with half-shut eyes, scroll through an endless stream of images that have nothing to do with their lives, and suddenly they feel drained. Drained of energy, drained of inspiration, drained of trust in themselves. Not because they are lazy, but because they have no system for living, no morning intention. Do you know why you sometimes feel like life has no meaning? Even when things are not that bad, it is because you do not have a clear reason to live today. Not next month, not for some distant future, but for today. Who do you want to become? You do not choose how your day begins, so you never really choose how your life moves forward. But hold on a second. Think back to your most recent mornings. What do you usually do in the first 30 minutes after waking up? Hit snooze, open TikTok or Instagram, mindlessly skim through work emails, jump out of bed because you are already late. Do you really call that the beginning of a meaningful day, or is it just survival mode? This question is not to make you feel guilty. It is meant to wake you up. To wake you up to this truth, the way you start your day is programming your entire mental state. If you begin your morning with stress, you will spend the whole day under pressure. If you begin your morning on social media, your mind will be scattered and stuck in comparison mode. If you begin your morning without knowing why you are alive today, you will be swept away by things that do not really matter. And if you repeat that 365 times, you get a blurry, forgettable year. Repeat that for a few years. You get a life that feels like it never really started. You might be surviving, but you are not truly living. Here is a truth you need to face. Every morning you do not own becomes a day you lose control. To work, to other people, to procrastination, to anxiety. You need to reclaim that control, not with a big dramatic gesture, but with one tiny, very tiny action that creates a gap between being on autopilot and being awake. That action is this wake up with a clear intention. Sounds simple, right? But it is not simple at all. Because when you choose what you want to focus on, you are sending a signal to your brain. I live with intention. I do not let others dictate my day. And guess what? Just having one clear goal each morning already sets you apart from 95% of people out there. Because most of them do not live that way. They live by reaction, by a list of must-dos, by tasks they have to finish, but do not even know why. But you are different. Because you are reading this, because you want to live intentionally, because you want real change, do not let your mornings get stolen. Every time you open your eyes, that is a chance to begin again. It does not matter how bad yesterday was. It does not matter how much you have on your plate today. If you start right, you are already leading the way. And one right day leads to a right week, leads to a right year, and eventually a life that is on the right path. So, how do you start? It is simple. Right after you wake up, before touching your phone, sit up, close your eyes for 10 seconds and take a deep breath. Open your notebook or notes app and write just one answer to this question. What is the most important thing to me today? Just one thing. Do not make a long to-do list. Do not try to be perfect. Do not try to cram everything into one day. Choose what truly matters most and let it guide the rest of your actions throughout the day. Maybe you are thinking, but I already know I will not follow through. What is the point of writing a goal if I will not achieve it? Listen, your morning intention does not need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be clear. Because if you do not manage to follow through today, at least you will become aware of what pulled you off course. And next time you will adjust. Little by little you will improve. Keep going and you will transform. It is not that you cannot live better. You just have not built the system to take you there yet. And that system starts exactly while you open your eyes each morning. Transformation does not begin with one big success. It begins with one tiny habit, waking up with a clear intention. It does not need to be profound. It does not need to be grand. You just need to wake up and know exactly what you want to do today and why you chose to do it. Now imagine this. You open your eyes. You do not reach for your phone. You take a deep breath and you ask yourself, what is the most important thing for me today? Just one thing. Write it down, one sentence, short, clear. Today I will complete the task I have been putting off. Today I will not check my phone during the first 2 hours. Today I will live with intention and clarity. Then you look at that sentence and you say it out loud like a promise to yourself. No one else needs to hear it. Just you. Hearing your own voice, trusting your own words, repeating it every single day. That one sentence becomes your compass. When you get distracted, it brings you back. When you feel like quitting, it reminds you why you started. When you feel yourself drifting, it grounds you. Sounds simple, but this one habit will become the foundation of your entire mindset shift. One right start leads to one intentional rhythm, leads to one focused version of yourself. Repeat it every day, and a new life starts to take shape. And I want you to begin tomorrow morning. Take action tonight. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier than usual. Leave a notebook or open your notes app beside your bed. Write this sentence in advance tomorrow. I will. Keep it short, clear, just one thing. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, read that sentence, say it out loud, and commit to living by it for the rest of the day. No phone first, no social media, no replying to messages. Just you and the one thing that matters most today. Tomorrow, wake up with a purpose, just one, and live it fully. Are you ready? The next chapter will show you how to protect your new day before the world gets the chance to distract you. Do not miss it. Chapter 2, plan your day before the world distracts you. If you do not take control of your day, the world will do it for you. Think back to your morning today. You woke up, and almost instantly you reach for your phone. No second thoughts, no clear direction, just reflex. You opened Facebook, Instagram, scrolled a bit, got a message, saw a few notifications, and just like that, your brain had been hijacked. You had not even asked yourself what you wanted to do today, but you had already started answering what everyone else wanted from you. You might think of it as an easy start to the day, but the truth is, you were handing your entire focus over to the outside world. And when others control your mind first thing in the morning, it becomes incredibly hard to reclaim ownership of your day. You start chasing emails. You get pulled into things that are not important. You lose focus, and by the end of the day, you feel like you did not accomplish anything that truly mattered. You might be busy all day, but still feel like you are not any closer to the life you actually want. You are not lazy. You are not lacking effort. You are just living in reaction instead of leading your day with intention. The difference between average people and exceptional ones is not talent. It is how they start their day. Average people, they open their eyes, grab their phones, and start reacting. People who lead their lives, they open their eyes, write a plan, and choose what to focus on. Here is the truth you need to face. If you do not decide what is important, then everything little will seem important. The world does not stop demanding your attention. Notifications keep popping up. The news keeps pulling you in. Urgent but unimportant tasks keep dragging you away from your real goals. You need a mental boundary right at the start of your day. And that boundary is your personal plan written down before the world has a chance to steal your focus. Imagine walking out the door with no idea where you're going. You just wander around, go wherever people call you, say yes to everything. And by the time the day ends, you wonder, why am I so exhausted yet feel like I did nothing meaningful? You give a tired laugh. Tell yourself today was off, I will try again tomorrow. And tomorrow plays out the same way. It is not because you are not capable. It is not because you are lazy. It is because you are living without a daily direction. It does not matter what you do as long as you have a plan. It does not need to be complex. It does not need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours, for you. Maybe you are thinking, I am a go-with-the-flow kind of person. I do not like being boxed in. I actually perform better when I improvise. But honestly, how much freedom do you really have if your entire day is just reacting to whatever shows up? That is not freedom. That is being controlled without even realizing it. Intentional living does not mean rigid living. A plan does not kill creativity, it frees you from chaos. Every morning is a chance to reset your mindset. It is the moment you say to yourself, today I choose to live with purpose. I will not let the world pull me in every direction. I know where I am going, and I will not lose my way. Do you know why you often feel that overwhelming sense of pressure? It is because you have 100 thoughts floating around in your head. You do not know what to start with. You do not know what actually matters. You jump from one task to another, and by the end of the day, nothing really gets done. When you do not have a plan, everything feels urgent. Every notification yanks your attention. Everyone feels entitled to your time. But when you plan your day in the morning, you hold your center. You know what truly matters. You dare to say no to what does not. You recognize that urgent does not always mean important. You learn to tell the difference between what moves you forward and what just drains your energy. Early mornings are when your willpower is strongest, your mind is clearest, your belief in yourself is highest. If you use that time to plan, you create a solid operating system for the entire day. Want to lead your life? Start by leading your mornings. No morning plan, no long-term direction, no direction, easy to drift. Drift long enough, and one day you look back, not even knowing what you were living for. Do not let that happen anymore. Not one more day. You do not need a complicated to-do list. You do not need 20 goals. You just need 3 important things for the day. 3 things that make you feel today, I lived on purpose. I moved forward. I was not just busy, I was building something. Here is how to do it starting tomorrow morning. Wake up 15 to 30 minutes earlier than usual. Sit quietly, no phone, no screen. Open a notebook or a notes app. Write down 3 short answers. What is my number 1 priority today? What task, if completed, will make me feel real progress? What do I usually avoid but know I need to do? 3 tasks, just 3, not more, not less. Do not let a long list paralyze you. Do not let fake busyness distract you from what matters most. And after you write them down, look at that list every time you feel distracted. Ask yourself, is what I am doing right now part of these 3 priorities? If not, drop it. If yes, focus and finish it. This tiny habit, just 5 minutes every morning, can completely shift your direction in the next few weeks. You will stop feeling aimless. You will stop ending your day with that awful question, what did I even get done today? You will stop drowning in 100 tasks with no clue where to begin. You do not need to control everything. You just need to control what truly matters. Let me ask you something. If you could only do one thing today, what would make you feel proud when you go to bed tonight? What is that thing? Write it down and do it before the world has a chance to distract you. Take action tonight. Before you go to sleep, prepare a notebook or open a notes app. Write this question at the top. What are the 3 most important things I need to do tomorrow? Tomorrow morning before checking your phone, before opening your emails. Write down those 3 things. Underline your top priority. Commit to completing it before noon. Before answering to the world, answer to yourself. What is your priority today? The next chapter will help you reprogram your morning thoughts so you stop unconsciously talking yourself down. Do not miss it. Chapter 3. Change your inner dialogue. Speak to yourself like someone you respect. If the voice inside your head were a real person, would you want to be friends with them? Take a moment and really think about that. The voice you hear the most in your entire life is not from your parents, your friends, or anyone out there. It is from you, inside your head, every day, nonstop. And the scary part is that voice is often not a kind friend. Think back to the last time you made a mistake. What did you say to yourself? You are such a failure. How could you be so stupid? Knew it. You never get anything right. Forget it. It is pointless anyway. Now imagine someone else saying those things to you. Would you want to stay close to them? Of course not. Yet strangely, you let that voice live rent-free in your head for years, maybe your entire life. You treat yourself in a way you would never tolerate from another person. Do you see the contradiction? You are your only lifelong companion. If you do not make peace with yourself, then nothing else, no matter how good, will ever feel like enough. You do not need anyone else to tear you down. You have already mastered the art of doing it to yourself. So every time a challenge shows up, you back off even before you begin. No one doubts you more than you. No one blocks your path more effectively than that harsh voice in your head. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I still lack confidence, even though I am trying so hard? You read books, you listen to podcasts, you watch self-improvement videos, But every time you begin something new, that same old voice shows up. Careful, you are just going to quit again like last time. You are not good enough. Do not embarrass yourself. No one cares. Just give up. That is not truth. That is an old belief repeated for far too long. Maybe when you were younger, you got scolded for small mistakes. You were compared to others. You heard things like, "You mess everything up. Why cannot you be more like them?" Back then, you could not push back. You stayed quiet, you endured, and over time you started to believe it. Believe that you were less than. Believe that you had to be perfect to be accepted. Believe that you were never enough. And now you continue to repeat that voice, but this time you are the one saying it. See the pattern? That negative voice is not your bad self. It is a wounded version of you trying to protect you from failure. But if you do not change it, it will also protect you from success. You need to learn how to reprogram that inner voice, like updating an outdated operating system. It is not easy. It takes deep awareness. You need to catch yourself and say, "Oh, there I go again, hurting myself with my own thoughts." And then gently rewrite it, bit by bit, one sentence at a time. Each time you hear something negative, pause and rewrite it like you are teaching a child how to love themselves. This is not about cheesy affirmations. This is self-therapy. This is rebuilding yourself from the inside out. And no one can do that better than you if you are willing to begin. Here is one powerful technique you can try. Give your negative voice a name. Sounds weird, but it works. Next time that voice pops up, instead of letting it run the show, say, "Ah, there it is again. Old voice, the one who always thinks I will fail. Nice try, judgy, but I am doing something new today, and you do not get to drive." When you separate yourself from that voice, you take back control. Now you can build a new voice, a kinder friend, one that says, "It is okay to go slow, just do not stop. It is not perfect, but I am making progress. Failure does not mean anything except that I am learning something new." Slowly, that new voice grows stronger, and the old one gets quieter, until one day, you realize you are no longer the person who constantly tears themselves down. That voice can be rewritten. You cannot stop it from showing up completely, but you can learn not to believe everything it says. And more importantly, you can learn to speak to yourself differently. This is not toxic positivity. It is not about forcing yourself to cheer up or think happy thoughts. It is about being fair to yourself, being kind to yourself, being honest in a healthier way. For example, when you say "I am so stupid," pause and ask, "Is that really true? Or just how I feel right now?" Then try changing it to, "I made a mistake, but I can learn from it." Or when you say, "I will never be able to do this," pause and try, "I cannot do it yet, but if I keep going, I will get better." Changing your inner dialogue does not mean denying challenges. It means choosing a perspective that does not drown you in negativity. Remember this. Your mind is listening to everything you say about yourself, and the words you repeat, whether true or not, will eventually become your core beliefs. Want to change your life? Start by changing the story you tell yourself every single day. Here is a simple but powerful exercise. Every time you hear a negative thought like, "I am so bad at this," write it down exactly as it is, no filters. Then ask yourself, if a friend just did this, what would I say to them? Now rewrite the sentence with kindness, fairness, and zero judgment. Read it out loud to yourself. Do it every day, just one sentence, and you will start to see something shift within a week. Positive thinking does not come naturally. It is the result of conscious practice, one thought at a time. You cannot become your best self if you keep telling yourself you are worthless. You cannot build a strong life on a foundation of constant self-doubt. It is time to change. Not all at once, just one sentence at a time. Grab a pen and paper. Write down one negative thing you often say to yourself. Right underneath it, write a new version, positive, honest, and kind. Read it each morning. Repeat it whenever that old voice comes back. Starting today, rewrite how you speak to yourself. One sentence at a time. A little more each day. The next chapter will help you beat procrastination with one instant action. Do not miss it. Chapter 4, Take Action, the moment your mind wants to delay. The moment you want to procrastinate is the real battlefield. It is not when you are too busy. It is not when you are out of time. It is not when you have no idea what to do. It is when you know exactly what needs to be done and still do not do it. It is when you sit down to work, look at your to-do list and think, I need to get this done. But then you open your phone, then switch to something easier. Then tell yourself, I will get to it in a bit. And you already know later usually means never. Procrastination is not loud. It does not scream. It does not slam the table and push you away. It just whispers quietly in your head. Just wait a little. No rush yet. Do it when you feel more in the mood. And you listen. You believe it sounds reasonable. You convince yourself you are just waiting for the right moment. But the truth is you are scared. You are not lazy. You are afraid of doing it wrong. And you are not alone. So many smart, capable people are stuck in a loop of procrastination, not because they lack ability, but because they carry invisible fears they have never fully recognized. Fear of not being good enough, fear of being judged, fear of the outcome not matching their hopes, fear of trying and still failing. That fear convinces you not to begin, because at least if you do not start, you cannot lose. But in reality, you are losing every time you choose to avoid. You think you need more time, but what you actually need is the courage to start even before everything feels perfect. Procrastination does not come from comfort. It comes from the anxiety of facing real outcomes. Doing the work means seeing how good or bad you really are. It means receiving real feedback. It means accepting risk. So your brain picks the easier path: avoid, delay, postpone. Maybe you are trying to get your motivation back. But sometimes you do not need motivation. You need the courage to stop being a slave to your feelings. Have you ever noticed this pattern? You know you need to do something important. You plan to do it right after a quick break. You scroll your phone. You start to feel tired or sleepy. Then you tell yourself, I will do it tomorrow. That is a fixed behavior loop, a default script you keep playing on autopilot. And you have to break it from the inside, with awareness, with immediate action right when the urge to delay shows up. You will not beat procrastination by reading another book on productivity. You need an instant reaction every time you feel the urge to avoid. Think about the last time you procrastinated. Did you tell yourself, I will wait until I feel ready? But that ready feeling never came. Only more guilt, more stress, and more pressure. Now remember a time when you forced yourself to do something right away, even for just 5 minutes. How did it feel afterward? Lighter, like you had momentum, motivated to keep going. That is what you need, a jump start, not perfection. Every moment of procrastination starts with just 1 second of hesitation, and you can shut it down right at the beginning. Picture your mind like a door. Every time you procrastinate, it is like a thief knocking. If you open it, the thief walks in and steals your entire day. But if you slam it shut within the first 5 seconds, you keep control. You do not need to be super disciplined. You just need to win the smallest battle right when it begins. Small actions build new habits. New habits build an intentional life. An intentional life builds real confidence. Nobody is born disciplined. They just act quickly and consistently enough that procrastination never gets a chance to grow. So next time you feel yourself reaching for a social media app instead of opening your laptop, pause. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Is this really too hard? Or am I just making excuses for my fear? And if you realize it is just vague fear, choose to act anyway. Act first, your feelings will catch up. Procrastinators wait until they feel ready. People who get results start and let motivation show up afterward. You cannot step into a new future if you keep clinging to procrastination like a safety blanket. You have to step out. It might feel cold at first, but it is freeing and full of clarity on the other side. Procrastination wears a very convincing disguise: I am not ready yet. It will be better if I wait. There is still time, but every time you follow that voice, you feed your fear. You strengthen the habit of not acting. You weaken your trust in yourself. When you procrastinate, you do not just lose a task, you are quietly training yourself to give up. Want to change your life? You have to win those tiny, seemingly harmless moments. You do not need to do everything perfectly. You just need to start before your mind has time to find excuses. There is one super simple technique that can completely shift your habit of procrastination: the 5-second rule. When you catch yourself hesitating, when your brain starts whispering, "Do it later," just a minute, scroll a little to relax. Immediately count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then act. No waiting for inspiration. No needing to feel ready. No perfect plan required. Just start, even if it is just opening your laptop, writing the first line, taking the very first step. Action creates momentum, not the other way around. You cannot think your way into motivation. You have to move and let motivation follow. When you count down from 5, you create a mental interruption between the old habit and a new behavior. You break the loop. You take back control. It sounds simple, but if you stick with it long enough, it will rewire the way you respond to life. You will stop being the person who always says later. You will become the one who acts when it matters. The one who starts even if it is messy. The one who does first, then improves instead of waiting to be good enough. That is the difference between the person who keeps dreaming and the one who actually builds the dream. From now on, whenever you catch yourself procrastinating, do not argue with your brain. Just count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it. The more you act, the more you rebuild trust in yourself. The more you delay, the more you reinforce doubt and instability. Life does not change because of a brilliant idea. It changes through tiny moments when you choose action over avoidance. You can start today. You do not need to erase every old habit. You just need to win that first moment of hesitation. And repeat. One day you beat procrastination 3 times. You acted differently. 1 week of repeating that, you build a new habit. 1 month of consistency, you become a different person. Each time you count down, you reclaim the power to live on your own terms. Each time you act immediately, you break the chains of fear. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not wait for someone to push you. Do not wait until everything is perfect. Act the moment you hear that voice of delay in your head. That moment right there is the real battlefield. That is where you either win or give in. That is where you decide keep postponing or move forward into a new life. Small actions lead to big results. Start early. It is easier to finish. Win early. Your confidence doubles. Do not wait until you feel like it. Just start and let your emotions catch up afterward. It will be hard at first, but soon you will start loving that feeling. You just beat your own resistance. And that feeling is priceless. Act now. Next time your brain says, wait a bit, you answer no. Now, and do it. Chapter 5. Finish what you start. Build confidence through completion. Anyone can start, but true confidence comes from finishing. There is no shortage of people with explosive motivation at the beginning, no shortage of goal lists filling entire pages, no shortage of ideas, no shortage of fresh starts. But there is a shortage of endings, a shortage of follow-through, a shortage of that final step, a shortage of the action that says it is done. Does that sound familiar? Books you read halfway, then put down. Writing exercises you started but never finished. Plans that began on Monday but faded by Wednesday. Online courses you signed up for then ignored. Projects that are 70% done, just waiting on the right mood to finish. That is not just a behavior. It is a pattern that rewires how you see yourself. Every time you leave something unfinished, you send a message to your subconscious, I am the kind of person who does not follow through. I am great at starting, but not at finishing. I get discouraged easily. I am not good at this. And the hard truth is, you start to believe it. You carry it like part of your personality. You repeat it with every new thing. You limit yourself based on an image that is not even true. You are not lacking ability, you just have not trained the habit of completion. But why is it so easy to quit? Because starting is easy when you are excited. But staying the course when you are tired, bored, or unsure of results is much harder. Maybe you once started a project. You were excited at first. The first day flew by. The second day felt manageable. But by the third day, distractions crept in. A phone call, an email, a text. You told yourself, I will get back to it later. But later never came. Not because you did not care, but because you lacked a system for finishing. You were never taught how to complete. You were taught how to begin. You were praised for your ideas. You were encouraged when you did something bold and new, but no one clapped for you finishing something quietly over 30 days. No one noticed you folding your blanket 7 days in a row. No one cheered when you quietly finished that task you had been putting off. So you felt no motivation, no reward. But this is where the real growth happens and where your character is built. Because real results do not come from what is impressive at first. They come from what you stick with even when no one is watching. You are living in a world that worships speed and novelty. People cheer for what goes viral. People celebrate overnight success. But they forget, breakthrough means nothing if you cannot maintain it. Speed at the start does not matter if you give up halfway. And more than ever, people are missing the simple strength. Start something and finish it. No applause needed, no praise required, no need for perfection. Just finish, just enough for you to say, I did what I said I would do. That matters far more than any idea you never executed. You cannot call yourself reliable if every time you say, I will do this, you quit halfway for some reason. That may sound tough. But the truth is, you remember every promise you ever made to yourself and broke. And slowly you chip away at your self-trust, not from others, but from within. How can you trust your next plan when the last 5 plans were dropped halfway? How can you feel strong enough to change your life when you have not finished even the small task you have been avoiding all week? That is when you need to pause, not to blame yourself, but to return and finish. Not for anyone else, not to prove anything, but because you deserve to live as someone you can trust. Confidence does not come from starting 10 things. It comes from finishing 1, then 2, then 3, and looking back to say, I finish what I start, I can do this. You are building a tower of inner strength. Every time you finish something, you lay down another brick. Every time you quit, you take one away. Do not wait to finish something big. Start with the small things you have left hanging. Just one thing. Maybe it is finally cleaning the room you keep saying you will clean. Maybe it is finishing the last 3 pages of that book. Maybe it is sending that email that has been sitting in drafts, or just finishing that half-written journal entry. Never underestimate the value of finishing something small, because the small things are the foundation for everything big. Many people say they want to change, to become disciplined, confident, resilient, but they overlook one key detail. If you want to change yourself, you have to change how you finish what you start. You do not need to work faster. You do not need to do more. You just need to complete more, even if it is small, even if it is slow, even if it is incredibly simple. Because every time you finish something, you send a message to your brain, I am someone I can count on. I follow through. I go all the way. That is the feeling you are missing. And you cannot get it from books or motivation, only from action. If you keep starting but never finishing, you will always feel like life is out of control. Not because you are lazy, but because your mind is full of open loops. Every unfinished task is an open door. A part of your energy leaks through it. You do not feel light. You do not feel focused. You do not feel free, because you are carrying around a pile of unfinished business. So stop adding more. Do not start something new. Pause and look at the promises you made to yourself and left incomplete. Pick one and finish it today. It does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be complete. No matter the outcome, just the fact that you followed through will make you feel stronger. You deserve that feeling. You deserve to feel like someone who finishes what they start. You deserve to trust yourself, not through words, but through real actions. Every time you finish something, you reclaim another piece of the self-trust you once lost by quitting. No one is forcing you to change, but you can choose to live differently if you really want to. And one of the simplest ways to shift the direction of your life is to go back and finish something you once abandoned. Confidence is not born from empty motivation. It is born when you prove to yourself, I am someone worth trusting. So today, do not add one more thing. Finish something old. Then ask yourself, how do I feel now that I actually completed it? You will feel a clear shift, not out there in the world, but inside yourself. A feeling of lightness, of clarity, of power. That is the feeling of someone rebuilding their inner strength. And you deserve to feel that starting today. Finish one thing you have been putting off, because you deserve your own trust. Chapter 6, Protect Your Peace. Learn to say no to what drains your energy. You cannot grow if your energy is leaking away every single day. It is not because you are not trying. It is not because you do not have goals. It is not because you lack motivation. It is because you are spending your energy on things that are not worth it. You wake up with the intention to do something meaningful, but then a message comes in, a sudden phone call, a favor someone asks, a meaningless meetup, a situation you do not want to be part of, but you smile your way through it anyway. And piece by piece, you lose yourself. You do not want to upset anyone. You are afraid of being called selfish. You want to keep the peace. You want to be the easygoing, likable person. But the price you pay is your peace, your time, your focus, your clarity, and the very path you want to walk. You cannot build inner strength if you are running out of breath every day on things that do not matter. You cannot live deeply if you are constantly trying to please everything and everyone. And here is a painful truth. Most of your daily energy is not lost from doing the work. It is lost from keeping up a mask of, I am fine for the world. You are tired, but you force a smile. You do not want to do it, but you say yes. You are short on time, but you stretch yourself thin to look professional. You agree to things you do not want just to avoid feeling judged. Every time you do that, you are not just spending time, you are spending self-respect. You are silently teaching yourself, other people's needs are more important than my boundaries. It is okay, I can take it. Just be agreeable so everyone likes you. And over time, you lose the ability to say no. Saying no is not easy. It comes with fears, fear of being disliked, abandoned, or labeled selfish. But here is the reality. A person who cannot say no will always be pulled into other people's plans. You can be polite, kind, and respectful and still have the right to say no. Not because you want to make things difficult, but because you know exactly what you need to protect to stay on your path. If you do not set clear boundaries, people will cross them often without even realizing it. Boundaries are not walls, they are soft fences so you can breathe. So you do not have to trade your mental health every day. Have you ever felt exhausted without knowing exactly why? It is not because you have done too much. It is because you have been going against yourself for too long. You say it is fine while your body is screaming, I cannot take any more. You say, sure, I will handle it, while your mind is already overwhelmed with things you cannot manage. You stay silent while inside you want to yell, I need space. I need peace. This kind of constant self-betrayal does not make you stronger. It only makes you lose yourself. Kindness given in the wrong way turns into inner betrayal. You are here to rebuild your life, not to keep carrying every broken piece someone else told you to hold. True mental freedom does not come from taking a break. It comes from removing what no longer belongs in your life. A clear person is not someone who says yes to everything. A clear person is someone who knows when to say no to what is no longer right. You do not need to over-explain. You do not need to apologize for choosing yourself. You do not need to compromise in every relationship. If someone truly values you, they will understand when you say no. And if someone only values you when you always say yes, then they do not value you. They only value what they get from you. Real respect is not about always agreeing. It is about holding on to what is precious inside your peace. Maybe your energy is not being drained by big problems, but by small, unnecessary things repeated day after day unchecked. Stop and take a clear look. What is draining you every single day? Who makes you feel heavy but you cannot bring yourself to refuse? What is taking up your time without adding any real value? You cannot control everything, but you can choose what you allow into your mind and your life. Write down 3 things that are draining you the most right now. Do not make excuses. Do not sugarcoat it. Be direct and honest. It might be a drama-filled relationship, a side job that no longer means anything, a noisy, pointless group chat, a type of interaction that leaves you exhausted every single time. Pick one thing, just one, and stop it today. Not because you are cold, but because you have the right to choose clarity over chaos. You can be polite. You can refuse with respect. But you cannot keep saying yes to what is destroying your inner calm. Some people will not understand. Some people will not like it. But if you keep living for other people's comfort, then who is living for your peace? A strong person is not someone who carries everything. It is someone who chooses what is worth carrying. Someone who knows when to say no. Someone who can protect their boundaries without guilt. You cannot be a kind, growth-oriented person if you let others pull your emotions in every direction every single day. Remember, every time you say yes to something unnecessary, you are saying no to something meaningful. You cannot go far if you keep being pulled back by things that do not matter. You are living a life with purpose. You are building your inner strength. You are restructuring your mindset. So choose what belongs in that journey. Refusal is not selfishness. Refusal is self-leadership. A person who cannot say no is a person with unclear weight in the world. No one knows where their limits are. No one truly respects them. But when you know how to protect your quiet space, when you can cut away what pushes you off track, you become someone with a clear direction. You become self-led, no longer guided by other people's emotions, no longer forced off your path by circumstances. That is the strength of someone who has grown inside. And you can begin building it today. Look at the list you wrote, the 3 things that are draining you. Pick one thing you can stop immediately and do it. Send the message. Cancel the meeting. Leave the group chat. Unfollow the negative source. Turn off the notifications. Step away from the unnecessary conversation. You will feel lighter. You will breathe deeper. You will have space to reflect, and you will realize peace does not come from having fewer things to do. It comes from choosing the right things to do. More is not better. Being busy does not mean you are living right. You need space to think deeply. You need quiet to understand yourself. And you need to remove the meaningless so you can do what truly matters. Stop living to please everyone. You do not need to be the easiest person in the room. You need to be the truest version of yourself in your own eyes. Say no to what makes you tired, not because you are selfish, but because you are living with direction. Chapter 7, learn one new thing every day to sharpen your mind. The mind is the most powerful tool you have, but are you sharpening it every single day? You are not short of things to do, but you are short of learning something new each day. And that is why you keep looping through the same old thinking, the same old actions, and the same old results. You know what you should do. You want to change. You read a few good articles. You listen to inspiring podcasts, but then you forget to apply it. You forget to review it. You forget to track it. A month passes. You are still in the same place. No forward, no backward. You are not hopeless. You are simply missing a structure to hold on to those insights, a way to turn what is worth learning into a permanent part of your mental system. People say knowledge is power, but if you only know and you never learn, never turn that knowledge into action, then you are still not moving forward. Your mind is like a blade. If you do not use it, it dulls. If you do not sharpen it, it becomes blunt. You can be a good person. You can have endless determination. You can have incredible potential. But if you do not learn every day, you will keep running in the same mental loop. And that loop is all too familiar. You face a problem. You think the same way you always have. You react on autopilot. You get the same outcome again. Then you tell yourself, I am just unlucky. This is not for me. Maybe I'm just not capable. No, you are not lacking ability. You are lacking fresh data for your brain to process. You are lacking new perspectives to act differently. Your mind is an incredibly powerful machine, but it can only work with the raw material you feed it. If you keep feeding it negative headlines, pointless drama, endless online arguments, then do not expect it to think deeply, stay calm, or see clearly. You want to make better decisions. You want to respond more intelligently. You want your emotions to stay steady. Then you must feed your mind better mental nutrition every single day. Not by chasing motivation, not by forcing iron discipline, but by building the habit of learning something new. Every day is a classroom if you know how to notice it. You can learn from a book, from a friend, from a moment that frustrates you, from a mistake, from a short conversation, even from a single video that shifts the way you think. The question is, do you record it, Do you pause to reflect, or do you just let it pass and disappear? You are not short of opportunities to learn. You are short of the habit of keeping what you learn. Each day, give yourself a mental pause. Just 5 minutes. Write down, what did I learn today? What made me rethink something? What will I do differently starting tomorrow? This is how you carve new pathways in your brain. And only when you think differently can you act differently. And only when you act differently can you create new results. Learning is not about becoming a master of everything. It is about not repeating the exact same version of yourself over and over again. Sometimes one sentence at the right time can change your entire direction. A lesson from a stranger can restore the faith you thought you had lost. A tiny piece of knowledge can unlock a huge problem. Do not underestimate the value of learning just one thing a day, because slow, steady accumulation will always be stronger than a sudden, flashy burst. Life changes fast. If you are not learning every day, you are standing still or falling behind, sometimes without even realizing you are slipping. Learn one new thing a day, not to show off how much you know, but to remind yourself you are still growing. One page of a book, one short podcast, one passing idea. That is enough to open a new perspective, spark a different way of thinking, or reveal a solution to a challenge you are facing right now. As Carol Dweck's research on the growth mindset shows, intelligence is not fixed. You can grow it through effort, challenges, and learning. Daily learning is how you give yourself permission to keep growing. Life will not wait for you to be ready. You do not need to be ready. You just need to learn and then act. Research shows that people who keep learning every day have more flexible, sharper minds, are better at adapting, and are more resilient when life gets rough. It does not have to be long. It's just one idea, one moment of curiosity, one small question. You do not need to turn every day into a full course. You just need to keep your mind stimulated. For example, today, you read a sentence that made you rethink things. Growth is about becoming more, not about comparing more. How do you feel about that? Will you keep it? Will you adjust your thinking because of it? That alone is enough. Just learn one thing, write it down, use it, and then watch what happens. In 30 days, your thinking will be sharper. In 30 days, your actions will be different. In 30 days, you will no longer be repeating the same old life. A little newness each day can completely change the course of your life. So today, write down one thing that made you think differently. A strange sentence, a tiny moment. Record it, keep it, then track how much further you go in the next 30 days. You are not just adding knowledge, you are upgrading your mind. Chapter 8, Move to shift your emotions and regain control. Movement is medicine. Use it before negative emotions pull you under. You do not always need motivation. You need movement. You need physical action to break the mental loop in your head. I know you have failed before simply because you stayed still. You thought you worried, you analyzed a problem, but you never took a single step forward. The more you thought, the heavier you felt. You lost energy. You lost focus. You felt yourself slipping away and had no idea how to pull yourself back. You are not lazy. You are simply carrying too much in silence. Negative emotions do not need to roar to take over. They slip in quietly. A little tension after a meeting, a judgmental glance from someone close to you, an unanswered message that makes you feel unimportant. They pile up, bit by bit, and one day you suddenly feel paralyzed, unable to think clearly, unable to act, wanting only to curl up and do nothing. This is emotional paralysis, not because of one big event, but because of small waves hitting you again and again, unnoticed by you, but recorded by your mind. Your mind is overloaded. but you do not realize it because you are too busy enduring. You think you are controlling your emotions by letting them go. In reality, you are suppressing them. And suppressed emotions do not disappear. They transform into fatigue, stagnation, and a sense of helplessness. Here is the trap: the more tired you feel, the less you move. And the less you move, the harder it is to break free. The more you think, the deeper you sink into the emotion. The more still you stay, the stronger the emotion grows. And too often you mistake this for personality. Maybe I am just weak. Maybe I am not strong enough. Maybe I am not built for a high-pressure life. But the truth is, you are not weak. You are simply standing still. Your body is a living system designed to move. Every movement triggers a biological response that restores your energy. A single step improves blood flow. A deep stretch changes your breathing pattern. A small shift in posture or in the direction you are facing creates mental space. Negative emotions become truly dangerous only when you stay still long enough for them to grow roots and choke your reason. So the moment you feel yourself sinking, emotionally numb, stuck, or lost, do not stay still. Do not curl up in your chair. Do not scroll endlessly just to forget. Do not sink deeper into thoughts without an exit. Stand up. Feel your feet touch the floor. Take a deep breath all the way to your belly. Relax your shoulders. And take a step, even just a few. Never underestimate the power of a small movement. You are not only changing posture, you are switching yourself back into control. This is the moment you shift from emotions victim to actions driver. Create your own rule. When my mind feels tangled, I will walk for 3 minutes. When my mood drops, I will stretch deeply. When I want to avoid my work, I will change my environment. It sounds small, but if you practice it consistently, it becomes a switch that pulls you out of negativity in minutes. You do not have to be mentally strong every second. You just need a few small strategies to adjust yourself at the right time. When your mind spirals into worry, it will drag you deeper if your body stays the same. Sitting hunched over, shrinking in on yourself, you give negative emotions the perfect environment to attack. So imagine if you simply stood up. You do not have to go far. You do not have to rush. Just stretch or take 2 steps. Just stand and move. You will notice the heaviness gives way to clarity. The emotion slows down enough for you to step out of it. You need a reset, a pause to stop yourself from sliding too far. A light movement like stepping outside for a breath of fresh air can make you feel like you are still in control. Do not wait until you are completely lost to hit reset. Learn to pause as a survival reflex when you feel unsafe inside yourself. The strongest people I know call this their early win of the day. That win is not about completing work. It is about not letting emotions run the show. You cannot control your emotions, but you can trigger your awareness with one small movement. Set up a simple reset routine for each day. Stretch for 10 seconds after sitting too long. Walk around your home or workspace for 3 minutes. Rest your eyes by looking outside and breathing slowly. Change your seat, the person you are with, or your surroundings to spark new awareness. These small actions create space for you to step out of reaction mode. They give you the energy to keep from losing yourself in emotional waves. If you feel tired, mentally stuck, and unclear, do not just sit there. Stand up, move. You do not need motivation. First, create it through your body. Every movement sends a message to your brain: I am still in control. I can change my state. I am not crushed by my feelings or my circumstances. One tiny action can have massive value if you keep it up. One step can pull you out of the quicksand of your own thoughts. Over time, movement stops being just a reflex. It becomes a signal: I am the one who acts, not the one emotions can buy off. Today, set a goal. Every time you feel your mood dip, do not give emotions the steering wheel. Stand up. Take a few steps, breathe deep, then come back stronger. You do not need magic. You need a habit so small yet so powerful that it changes how you handle yourself. Today, whenever you feel weary, do not curl up. Stand up and move. Chapter 9. Look back at today. In what way were you better? If you do not look back, you will not know that you have grown. It sounds simple, but it is a truth many people forget. You are busy all day. You run from one task to the next. Night comes. You are exhausted, and you think you have made no progress at all. You are not lazy. You are not bad. You just have not looked back to see the small steps you have taken. Not reflecting means the day slips by without acknowledgement. No acknowledgement means you cannot see yourself getting better. No proof, less belief, less motivation. You say nothing noteworthy happened today, but hold on. You did not give up. You showed up on time. You said no to something unnecessary. You focused for an extra 15 minutes. You stayed calm in a tough conversation. That is progress. You just have not named it. Human beings need evidence to believe in themselves. That evidence does not fall from the sky. It lives in small actions every single day. Your job is to shine a light on them. Reflection is not self-blame. Reflection is honesty. Acknowledge what went right. Learn from what did not. Make a gentle turn for tomorrow. You do not need a long report. You need a short habit, consistent, sincere. Each evening, ask one question today. In what way was I better? A short question with big power. When you search, you will find. When you find, you will believe. When you believe, you will continue. Picture this 5 minutes before sleep. Screen off. Sit up straight. Slow breathing. Open your notebook. Write one line. Today I was better at. Pause. Read it again. Feel it. Your mind closes an open loop. Your body lets go. Your heart feels lighter because you did not waste a day of life. Many people try to change without looking back. They push forward. Then they run out of breath. Then they lose hope. They think their effort goes nowhere. But when you look back each night, you see the bricks stacking up. You see the road taking shape. You see you are not who you were yesterday. You might say, I am tired at night. Exactly. Because you are tired, you need these 5 minutes even more. This is not one more task. This is how you gather the energy that leaked away all day. This is how you close the day whole. You might say, I have nothing to write. Start small. I sat at my desk on time. I did not raise my voice. I took a 5-minute walk when my mood dropped. I read one page. I kept a small promise to myself. Small is still progress. Progress is not measured by applause. It is measured against who you were yesterday. What gets in the way? Forgetting, sleepiness. The feeling that there is nothing worth writing. We will handle them one by one. Forgetting. Set an evening alarm. Place notebook and pen on your pillow. When your hand touches the notebook, you remember. Sleepiness. Write earlier. Choose a time that fits you, after brushing your teeth or after dinner. Link it to a habit you already have. Nothing to write. Use a simple template. Today I was better at. Today I learned that. Tomorrow I will do differently by. Simple, short, practical. You are not writing to perform. You are writing to remember, to adjust, to respect your effort. Do not turn reflection into an essay. Keep it like a brief talk with yourself. Straightforward and warm. No judgment, with standards. What does reflection create clarity? When you are clear, you are less tangled, less energy lost. With energy, you keep going. Reflection also builds discipline. Each night you return. You face the day. You acknowledge. You choose again. You become someone who knows how to close the day. Reflection shapes a new identity. You see yourself as a learner. You are not the victim of a bad day. You are the person who extracts value from it. Some nights you will write, "I failed." That is fine. Add one more line, "The lesson is," and tomorrow I will. Failure matters, and when it teaches you how to continue. Other nights you will do very well. Do not rush past it. Feel proud. Give yourself a worthy compliment. Self-respect grows when you recognize your own effort. You fear it takes time, but vagueness takes more. How many nights lost to drifting thoughts? How many times blaming yourself for not using the day well? 5 minutes of reflection saves hours of wandering. After 30 days, you have 30 entries, one line each. Open them. See the journey. See yourself grow, page by page. This is the evidence when faith shakes. The map for stormy days, inner wealth no one can take. Now make it real. Choose a time tonight. Prepare notebook and pen. Place them where you must see them before sleep. Write the question in the first page today. In what way was I better? When you sit, take 3 slow breaths. Relax your shoulders. Replay the day like a short film. Pause where you were better than yesterday. Write one line. Stop there. No rambling. Tomorrow, repeat. Do not wait for inspiration. Let rhythm lead you. Habit will carry you when motivation fades. If you forget one night, do not quit. Return the next day. Write a makeup line, or just write for today. What matters is coming back without self-judgment. If someone joins you, great, but do not depend on them. This is between you and you. Looking back does not slow you down. It keeps you on the right path. Right path is faster than rushing and getting lost. Life does not only ask you to move forward. Life asks you to know how you are moving forward. Begin with 5 minutes before you sleep. Tonight, before you put your phone down, hand over heart, ask softly, where did I improve today? Listen, write it down, a simple, perfect period to end a day worth living. Before you sleep, where did I improve today? Write it down. Chapter 10. Keep the good habit until it becomes part of who you are. Real change happens when a habit becomes instinct. Not when you feel excited, not when you write a beautiful goals list, but when you do the right thing without thinking too much. Naturally, calmly, like breathing. I know you have started strong before. Week 1 felt full of drive. Every day you promised yourself you would do well. But then, work piled up. Your emotions dipped. You slipped one day, then 2, and the habit vanished as if it never existed. You think you lack discipline. You blame yourself for weak willpower. You decide you are not the type. No, you are not wrong. You have simply gone halfway, and you stopped right before your results curve was about to take off. Results do not arrive right away. Results always follow consistency. That is a quiet law. You plant the seed, you water it, you wait. At times it looks like nothing is changing, but underneath roots are spreading. A system is forming. A new identity is installing. Because they cannot see it, people give up. They quit just as progress begins to show. They confuse no result yet with I cannot do it. And they go back to the starting line. Do not repeat that loop. Go the full 30 days. Give your body and mind enough time to turn a habit into part of you. You do not need to try forever. You need to hold long enough. So how do you hold? Step 1. Choose one positive habit only. Not 3, Not 10, just one. Small, clear, measurable. For example, drink 1 glass of water after you wake up. Write 5 lines in your journal each morning. Walk for 5 minutes after lunch. Read 2 pages before bed. Practice deep breathing for 1 minute when you feel tense. Step 2. Anchor the habit to a fixed moment. After brushing your teeth, right after you make coffee, when you sit at your desk, before turning off the lights. A fixed anchor means you do not have to negotiate with yourself each time. Step 3. Use the 2-minute rule to start. If a task feels heavy, shrink it to the smallest version you can complete in 2 minutes. 2 minutes to open the book, 2 minutes to write notes, 2 minutes to stretch. Once you start, you usually do more than 2 minutes. But first win by starting. Step 4. Prepare an environment that supports you. Place your notebook and pen on your pillow. Set your shoes by the door. Keep a water bottle on your desk. Turn off notifications during your habit window. You do not need more willpower. You need less friction. Step 5. Track it every day. Mark it. A big X. A number. A simple dot. You are giving your brain proof that you are on track. A visible streak creates momentum. You will not want to break the chain. Step 6. The never miss 2 days rule. If you miss 1 day, stop it there. Return the next day. No self-judgment, no punishment workouts. Just get back on the rails. Step 7. If, then plans. If you get home late, then do the 2-minute version. If your mood drops, then just open the book and read 1 passage. If guests come over, then move the habit to just before bed. Preparing in advance means life will not catch you off guard. Step 8. Small, immediate rewards. 1 deep breath and a quiet well done. 1 acknowledgement line in your notebook. 1 cup of hot tea. Your brain learns through rewards. Give it a reason to return. Step 9. 3 10-day phases. First 10 days unfamiliar and resistant. You will want to quit. Hold with the 2 minutes. Next 10 days, awkward but lighter. Hold with the fixed schedule and tracking. Final 10 days getting familiar. Hold by gently raising the standard if you wish, but do not overreach. Step 10. Shift from goal-based doing to identity-based doing. Do not only say I want to read 20 books. Say I am a person who reads every day. Do not only say I want to be fit. Say I am a person who moves every day. Identity pulls behavior farther than goals do. You may doubt this. Can 1 small habit change a life? Look back at what dragged you down in the past. Small things repeated daily. Phone first thing in the morning. 10 extra minutes of delay. Skipping a healthy breakfast. 1 self-critical remark. Small but repeated. They shaped you. Now you will use the same law in reverse. Imagine 30 days from now. You are no longer debating with yourself every morning. You do what needs to be done like a reflex. Lighter, clearer, steadier. You feel your self-respect returning, not because others praise you, but because you keep your word to yourself. Some days will not be perfect. Some days you will only do the 2-minute version. That is fine. You still win, because habit is measured by showing up and repeating, not by how grand it looks. Do not demand daily inspiration. Demand rhythm. Rhythm gives you a shoulder to lean on when emotions change color. Rhythm turns behavior into instinct. You fear boredom. Boredom is the price of excellence. You fear being slow. Slow and steady beats fast and quit. You fear no one sees it. Habits are a quiet game, but the reward is visible when the time comes. Do not raise the difficulty too soon. Do not add new habits before the first one is stable. Do not punish yourself for a missed beat. Do not brag too much when you are just starting. Keep the energy inside to feed consistency. You need a specific 30-day commitment. Write it down right now. I commit to this habit for the next 30 days. Name of the habit. Anchored time. The 2-minute backup version. How you will track it. A small reward after each completion. Sign it, start date, end date. Place that paper where you must see it every day. Your desk, the bathroom mirror, your lock screen. And then begin. No waiting. No waiting for motivation. No waiting for perfect conditions. Day 1, do it. Day 2, do it. Day 3, still do it. Maybe only 2 minutes. But you are installing new software for yourself. Day 10, you feel lighter. Day 20, you feel more confident. Day 30, you do not have to push like day 1. That is when habit turns into instinct. That is when you understand why successful people talk less about motivation and more about systems. You do not need to try forever. You need to hold long enough for a good habit to become who you are. Choose one small habit now. Write the 30-day commitment. Prepare your environment. Set reminders. Draw your tracking boxes and start today. Not tomorrow. Not when you are free. Not when things calm down. Today. Because real change happens when habit becomes instinct. And your new instinct is created by the small decision you make right now. You have come very far. But the deciding power lies in this moment, not tomorrow, not when you are free, right now. You have listened, you have understood, you have seen yourself in each chapter, and I know you are tired after trying many times and still not breaking through. I understand that feeling, standing between desire and hesitation, between determination and delay. Between a new version of you and old inertia. But wait, be honest with one question. If not today, then when? If not you, then who? You do not need a perfect plan. You need one action small enough that you have no excuse to delay. Stand up, breathe deeply, pick up pen and paper. Write one sentence of commitment for today. What will I do in the next 2 minutes after I stop listening? Write down the time. Write down the 2-minute backup version. Set a daily reminder for the same hour. Then make the very first move. Do not search for motivation. Action will invite motivation to arrive afterward. Do not try to do many things. Do one thing right. See it through. Once a day. Remember the path you just walked. Wake up with intention. Plan before the world distracts you. Speak to yourself with respect. Act when your mind wants to procrastinate. Finish to build confidence. Say no to protect your peace. Learn every day to sharpen your thinking. Move when your emotions sink. Look back to see you are bigger than yesterday. And hold long enough for habit to become instinct. It all meets at one point. Small action, repeated, non-negotiable. You may doubt. Doubt is normal. But do not let doubt decide your direction. Let action decide. 1 glass of water after you wake up. 5 lines in your journal. 3 minutes of walking when you feel tired. 1 line of reflection before you sleep. These small pieces will pivot the course of your life. You do not owe the world a performance. You owe yourself a life worth living. And that life is built from small promises kept consistently. When you want speed, choose simplicity. When you want distance, release the excuses. When you want durability, choose rhythm over bursts. Now place your hand over your heart. Say softly, today I will do one right thing. Then do it right now. Everything you want lives on the other side of perseverance. Begin today with one small action, then repeat once a day until your life turns a corner.